Welcome to Pensacola High School and another year of high school hoops on WFGX. Tonight, it's the Pensacola High Fighting Tigers against the Tate Aggies. Hi everyone, Dan Shugart along with Christian Garmin this year for our broadcast. 6 nights, 7 games of high school hoops here on WFGX. And we are delighted to bring you this season opener. Should be a really good one. 2 very good teams. The Tate Aggies 10-1 coming in. They have won 4 in a row. And PHS comes in with a 9-3 record. Gets a pretty tough preseason schedule. So 2 really good teams, but 2 very different teams. For openers, the Tate Aggies, very experienced, 7 seniors, 5 juniors on their 12-man roster, and they have a terrific backcourt.
They do. They have, first of all, Love Bettis, who's one of the premier guards in the city, averaging more than 24 points a game, but he's not alone. Jordan Williams, DJ Brown, both averaging 12 and 10 points respectively. So the bulk of their offense comes from those 3 guys. They are an exciting team in the backcourt.
As for PHS, a much younger team, just 2 seniors on this roster, and they have 5 sophomores, including a starter, Caleb Young, who transferred from Tate to PHS for his sophomore year. He scores 13 points a game, sharing the team lead with Emmanuel McDuffie. So we have the Tate Aggies and the Pensacola High Fighting Tigers coming up here on High School Hoops on WFGX. Pensacola High School, a rich basketball tradition, and they are hosting tonight's season opener of our televised series, High School Hoops, here on WFGX. The Tigers of Pensacola High taking on the Tate Aggies. Again, Dan Shugart and Christian Garmin here for our schedule of high school basketball. We have actually 2 nights and 3 games this week. After tonight's game, we'll be over at Pine Forest on Friday night for a doubleheader. The girls and boys doubleheader. Girls at 6 o'clock and the boys game at 7:30 on Friday. Pace at Milton, Crestview at Choctaw, Gulf Breeze at Catholic, and Pine Forest at Tate, rounding out the schedule over the next month or so here on WFGX. But tonight it is the Tate Aggies and the Pensacola High Tigers. Dan Shugart and Christian Garmin, and you're looking at some of the players here on the floor at getting warmed up. A little bit of a late start. The freshman and JV games, as will happen, ran a little long. Not too bad, though. About 1:20 left on the clock, so we'll be getting going here in just a few minutes. But we talked a touch earlier about the relative strengths of these 2 teams. And first of all, we talked about the Tate Aggie backcourt, and you have Love Bettis, who is a guy we knew a lot about when he was a freshman at Washington High School, then transferred over to Tate, along with Dennis DJ Brown. Both of them started at Washington, transferred to Tate before their sophomore years, and they have been terrific now for 3 years.
And Dan, when you and I first got here a couple of hours ago, we walk in, and as would happen, of course, somebody right away comes up to you and wants to talk. And first thing he said was, you guys have chosen wisely. These are 2 of the best teams in the city. And I noticed you quickly said, yeah, 2 of the best. So it's awesome that our first broadcast of the season of the High School Hoops Series is going to be such what I think will end up being a really good game with some terrific talent on both sides of the court.
And so for PHS, we talked to Terrence Harris over the weekend, and the head coach at PHS, and the one thing he did point out, I mean, there's some explosive players in the backcourt, but they have a size advantage overall, and that is due mainly to the 6'6" junior Isaiah Gaines. He wears number 23 for Pensacola High, who will be in the home light-colored jerseys with the maroon trim. Isaiah Gaines, number 23, is a 6'6" junior, averages about 10 points, 8 rebounds, but they feel they have a size advantage against the Aggies. Tate did address, they're a very guard-oriented team. They were going to be a guard-oriented team, but they addressed it in the offseason by getting Darian McDowell and Dontavius Fields to come out for basketball. A couple of senior big men hadn't played. Of course, McDowell is a terrific baseball player, and Fields a defensive lineman on the Aggie football team. But they've come out and they've played and contributed some significant minutes and given them some presence and some strength inside. We're looking at the starting lineup for the Tate Aggies right now. And that is Keyshawn Black, number 10, a 6'2" senior guard, averaging 14 points a game. There's a Darian McDowell, 6'4", 240 senior inside player, 6 points, 7.5 rebounds a game. Jordan Williams is a 6-foot junior, wears number 4. There you see the starting lineup. Wears number 4. He's a junior who can really shoot the ball, averaging 12 points a game. Dennis DJ Brown, number 5, a senior guard, averaging 10.5 points a game. And of course, number 3 is Love Bettis, 6-foot guard, averaging just over 24 points a game and one of the best in the area. Pensacola High Fighting Tigers, their starting lineup. Caleb Young, the sophomore, 6'4", played last year at Tate, moved back to the Pensacola High area, and he is playing for PHS, number 10, 6'4", averaging 13 points a game. And as you see the starting lineup right there, Emmanuel McDuffie, number 1, a 6-foot junior in the backcourt, also averaging 13 points a game. Taiwan Thomas, number 2, 5'9" junior guard, is really lightning quick, 32 steals on the year. Calvin McCreary, as a senior guard, one of 2 seniors on this roster. He wears number 5, averages 4 points, 2 rebounds. He is a really steadying influence on the court. And then Isaiah Gaines, we talked about him earlier, number 23, 6'6" junior inside player. And he is backed up by Tidarius Gully, a 6'8" junior who plays significant minutes. Not a great scoring threat, but he can certainly get the job done defensively inside. So they have a great inside presence, both offensively. If Gaines gets it going, he averages 10 points, and defensively as well between Gaines and Gully inside. So it's a terrific matchup. 2 teams trying to take advantage of their relative advantages. PHS will go from right to left in front of us here. And that is Darian McDowell jumping center for Tate against Isaiah Gaines. And we're just about ready to go. Not too bad, Christian. We're just getting ready, but about 9 minutes late.
No, it's dead on, man. This is going to be great. I'm pumped.
All right, the Aggies and the Tigers, here we go. That's Tate with the ball, and that's Dennis Brown. He's running the point. And he'll take that shot and dump it off instead. Good ball movement, and McDowell scores inside. Nice pass from Keyshawn Black.
Yeah, 2 terrific passes immediately. 10 seconds into the game, and Tate, looking very unselfish, gets an easy layup.
So PHS against the pressure defense, and this is what the Aggies like to do defensively. That's Love Bettis, and a quick 4-0 start for Tate.
And Coach talked to us yesterday. Coach Harris talked about that very fact, how quickly Love can score on defense.
And that's a hand check on the sideline, and foul called on, I believe that was 10 who picked it up, correct? Keyshawn Black. From the Miracle Strip Officials Association, Linwood Swims is our referee, Bernard Kemp, and Thomas Young also officiating tonight's game. Good crew. Stepping on the sideline.
Sure did.
Emmanuel McDuffie turns it over. So Tate with a quick 4 points to start the game, and they get the turnover. That's Brown. And that ball fortunately stayed with the Aggies. And you see the presence inside by
big rebound
McDowell, yeah. And a good finally. Gaines pulls down the rebound.
Yeah.
Gaines steps out for 3. Banging the boards and throwing it back up is Caleb Young. And the Tigers turned away again. Nice penetration by Brown, but nice block by Gaines.
And honestly, that time Brown may have served better to just take the shot. Had a pretty open layup.
Stepping out, committing the foul, that's McDowell. So that's the second foul on the Aggies and the first foul on McDowell. So the Aggies pick up a couple of relatively quick ones. A minute and a half into the game, minute 40 seconds into the game. That's Caleb Young, number 10, the sophomore. And a whistle away from the ball.
Not sure what this is.
He just reset to 6:18. I guess the clock was early starting, and so they are going to put a second back on the clock.
Give them that second back, yeah. Every second matters. Love it.
And if the clock is not, if you don't have the state-of-the-art NBA clock, you might just hold off a second before you start it, which I think might be what they're going to do. or they'll just put a second back on.
Coach steps in, says, I got it. Boom. Couple of clicks, and there we go. Back to 6:18 it is.
He does it all.
Exactly. Without thinking, too.
Terrence Harris in his 11th year as a head coach at PHS. And that's McDuffie, and McDuffie can't get it to go. And then pass is stolen inside, and now Tate gets the basket from Keyshawn Black. So it's a 6-0 start for the Aggies. McDuffie. Young.
Nice take.
Nice basket by Caleb Young. So he ends the drought. Took him 2.5 minutes to score.
Yeah, looks like Pensacola is going to put a little pressure too after they score, which they did there.
And there's a hand check. Hand check called on Taiwan Thomas, his first foul. You know, Love Bettis, he scores 24 a game. He's a terrific shooter, but he's not one of those guys who gets all of his baskets from, a nice inbound pass. It was deflected, I believe, by Gaines and off the hand of Love Bettis to PHS. Nice play by Gaines, quickly identifying that Bettis was left wide open. Of all the people you're going to lose on an inbound play.
And looks like Tate's picking him up full court here just to apply a little pressure there.
Nice steal on the sideline, but Young retains it. Three-pointer on the way, well off the mark. Taiwan Thomas.
Great outlet pass there. Boy, early on, Tate very unselfish, constantly looking for the open man.
Thomas commits the foul, so he picks up 2 quick ones here. So Taiwan Thomas with 2, and coming in, Shundarius Washington will check in, sophomore, to replace Thomas. Washington in, Thomas picks up his second foul with 4:54 to play here in the first quarter. Eight to 2. Three-pointer, and that's McDuffie. So McDuffie with the big 3.
Big 3.
And now some pressure defense, and Brown turns it over.
Big 3 there from McDuffie. You know, if Pensacola is going to try and take advantage of that size we've been talking about, they are going to have to hit some of those outside shots to open things up underneath. And that's the way to do it midway through the first quarter. Knock down a big 3.
McDuffie is hitting nearly 50% of his three-pointers.
That's great.
They tried the lob. Phenomenal. They tried to throw the lob inside the Gaines. He thought he was fouled. And instead, the Tigers commit the foul coming out of the backcourt. Or did they? Into the lineup for PHS, Ahmad Banks, a senior guard. Again, the second senior. He replaces McDuffie. And Banks will inbound it. Banks is a guy who can contribute offensively. He scored 22 against Pine Forest off the bench. So
that's big contribution there. Went for the steal. That opens up an opportunity. Oh, big defensive play. Wow.
And Brown whips it to the corner to Bettis. And the rebound to Gaines. He is controlling the glass. So PHS, after the rough start, the 6-0 start for Tate, the Tigers could pull it in one with a basket here. Or tie it with a 3.
Not too much.
And ball stripped loose, and here comes Bettis out with it. And he'll take it all the way.
This time he keeps it.
Didn't need the scoop.
Nope. Tate's very aggressive, and if PHS can handle that, it is going to create some easy layups for them. We've seen a couple of opportunities already where Tate went for a steal, and it created a nice opportunity for PHS. They capitalized on one of them. So that's something to watch all night if Tate stays that aggressive. Going for every steal.
All right, Ahmad Banks inbounds it right in front of us. And down low he goes to Gaines, who runs it down. Can't do anything with it from there. But the Tigers set it up. That's McCreary, number 5, out front. Caleb Young, he might pop that from there. He likes to. He can shoot it from outside. Washington, another sophomore.
Might have pushed off there. PHS really trying to slow things down.
Well, it's another foul on McDowell. That's his second. So McDowell has 2 here in the first quarter. Tywan Thomas has 2 for PHS in the first quarter. And Skylar Bryant is up off the Tate bench. He's going to check in. The transfer from West Florida Tech. Whereas number 11, he will check in after this free throw. Washington, a 50% free throw shooter, spun that one out. Oh for 2 from the line, but a good job on the boards and can't convert.
Nonetheless, it's going to stay down here.
There's Banks on the offensive boards. So again, PHS third chance to pull within 1. Triple team on Gaines. He found McCreary. And Gaines tips it in.
Nice. It's that size advantage.
Get the ball on the board, give him a chance. So it's an 8-7 ball game. 3-pointer on the way. That's coming off to the Tigers, and Gaines will dribble out with it.
Taking it himself here. Nice pass. Great look.
And Banks traveled.
Oh.
Did a little bunny hop on the pump fake. And PHS was that close to taking the lead.
That's a really nice pass from Isaiah Gaines, though. Took the ball down the court himself and then looked to ditch at the last minute there. Very nice.
After the 6-0 run by Tate to start the game, PHS on a 7-2 stretch. Nice dish. Can't convert, though. And Tate comes out with it.
That's a great pass. You've got to make that layup.
2 Tigers are there. One of them would have scored, and it turns out they'll go to the line instead. Foul, I believe, was on Keyshawn Black. If so, that's his second. So PHS with a chance to take the lead here as McCreary goes to the free throw line. Doesn't get to the line that often. 4 for 11 from the line this year. So that's... And up off the PHS bench is Tidarius Gully, a big junior who's, I'm imagining, going to give Isaiah Gaines a break.
Make it 5 for 12 on the season.
There you go, and he tied the ball game at 8.
After the 6-0 start here. And Tate has had several really good opportunities they have not converted, including just a moment ago.
No, we're all tied up at 8 with a minute and a half to go in the first quarter.
Nice pass.
A nice block. That's Gully inside.
Big time defensive play there.
McCreary back out front as we hit the 1 minute mark here in the first quarter. Pensacola High trying to take their first lead. McCreary. And he gives it to him.
Here comes Tate quickly.
A jumper miss by Bettis. Out of bounds to Tate. Boy, Bettis just did stay in bounds. And man, I thought he had himself a nice rhythm dribble going. I really thought that was going to go. So he is still looking for the hot hand. He's also looking for his 4th point. With 20 seconds to go, PHS hand check. PHS with a 2-point lead. Did he come down in front court? That was close. McDuffie will get the shot off. Instead, he dishes it. 5 seconds to go. Runner by McDuffie. So PHS finishes the quarter on a 10-0 run and takes a 12-8 lead after 1. 12-8, Tigers on top of the Aggies on High School Hoops on WFGX. All right, we played 8 minutes of basketball here at Pensacola High School, and the score keeps changing as we're looking.
Right.
It is it's a 12-8 PHS lead, and really a quarter of 2 halves.
It really was. I mean, that first couple of minutes was all Tate up 6-0, and then PHS took over. But again, I'll say again, that said, Tate had lots of opportunities. They are proving to be extremely unselfish. Those last 2 shots we saw Bettis take at the end of the first quarter, the only 2 shots, I'd say, the entire quarter where it didn't look to be a pass-first situation. They keep getting those opportunities. I do think that's going to work out real well for them.
Well, again, they've got a lot of those are opportunities inside, dishing to a big guy, and we saw Gaines come up with a big block shot, and he scored at the other end. So you've had some plays, some defensive plays at the PHS end, which really were 4-point swings.
There he is again.
Yep. Taiwan Thomas with the drive, and
that was.
Ball knocked loose by Gully, and Gaines is there. Both big guys in the game at the same time. So Gully scored at one end and gets involved in tying him up at the other. So 14-8, a 6-point lead. So PHS with their biggest lead. Tate's biggest lead was 6-0. And so it's a 14-2 run for the Tigers.
And I would say highlighted, Dan, by that size advantage we've been talking about.
There's a 3-pointer on the way. That is short. That was by DJ Brown. So neither Brown nor Bettis has really had found the range yet. Boy, Gully was there to pick up what could have been an errant pass.
Got lucky.
Yep, that's McDowell out front, or rather McDuffie out front. Now they swing it back down to Gaines. Good look to Gully.
Boom. That's well done. Both teams really passing the ball nicely. Very nice.
And a turnover at the other end. The Aggies haven't scored since just about the 5-minute mark of the first quarter, so they've gone over 6 minutes without a point. 14-0 run.
Big defense
that
there.
May change.
Yep.
Great hustle. Getting back. That was Taiwan Thomas, and McDuffie scores.
So Thomas turns it over, doesn't quit on the play, gets the steal, and ends up with an easy bucket the other end.
Brown ditches, and that's an offensive foul on Dennis Brown. Throwing his arm out is what the call is. Throwing out with a forearm, and so he gets the offensive foul to DJ Brown.
And just like that, it's a 10-point lead for Pensacola.
And a full timeout. We will take a timeout. 6:27 to play second quarter. PHS leads by 10, 18-8. Well, it's an 18-8 PHS lead, and boy, the first 2.5 minutes of this game, who would have thunk this?
Yeah, it's an 18-2 run. It was 6-0 Tate to start things off, and I'm talking quickly 2 minutes into the game. But since then, it really has been all PHS.
18-2, 16-0. The last Aggies basket came with about 5 minutes to play in the first quarter. It gave them an 8-2 lead. And PHS.
Tate pressing here.
Yep. Three-pointer on the way. That was a three. Canned it by Caleb Young.
When you put the press on, if it gets broken that easily, somebody's going to have an open shot. And Young knocks it down.
The former Aggie hits the three against his former teammates. And not doing a nice job knocking the ball loose. McDuffie's the one who stole it. Caleb Young came out with it, and the ball knocked out of his hands. It'll stay with PHS.
So Tate's got to be really careful here all of a sudden. Down 13, a little careless last couple of possessions.
Well, and PHS is also playing a lot more confidently at the defensive end, especially, and at the offensive end, but really especially at the defensive end. I think any kind of intimidation factor that Tate has offensively with all those scores doesn't exist right now. McDuffie for three.
Boom. Wow. Back-to-back threes.
He's got 10. It is 24-8. And on the offensive boards and converting, and a big basket for Keyshawn Black.
And finally, they score.
Well, check that. That was Skylar Bryant. They went nearly 8 minutes without a basket. 5 minutes to the 5:30 mark of the next quarter.
Well, they needed that badly after the back-to-back threes from Pensacola there.
It was a 22-0 run.
Incredible. And, you know, knocking down a shot like that also helps because it gives Tate a chance to get into that pressure that they want to apply.
McDuffie with the runner. And Gully goes, couldn't control it. And there's Bettis. And he'll draw the foul before the shot attempt. And the foul is going to be Tywan Thomas. Oh, yeah, it's a pretty easy call, but Thomas just picked up his third.
With a lot of time left in the second quarter, too.
Yep. And McCreary comes off the bench to replace him. Love Bettis with the ball, now picked up by McDuffie.
Wow. Yeah. Big time scoop there.
And that's the kind of basket you expect to see from him.
And this gets them into that press.
And there's a foul on the sideline on Skylar Bryant. PHS is taking a 30-second timeout, so we'll stay right here. 4:34 to play. 24-12. PHS lead down to 12. And checking into the game when play resumes will be Ahmad Banks for PHS, number 3. But McDuffie got the hot hand, and he's one of those guys who, you know, he's pretty mercurial. He can get going, or he can miss a few and not realize he's missing more.
I have no doubt about it. I'm going to have to quickly Google mercurial, but I will agree with what you said.
Well,
oh, great. I'm getting no service. Isn't that always the way?
Well, if you Google something and have to start it, spell check. That's not gonna get you there.
How many X's in Mercurial?
24 to McDuffie with 10 points to lead the way, lead everybody tonight so far. And of course, Gully came in, who doesn't normally contribute a lot of offense. Not really a shooter, but he's scoring off the board, scoring inside. He got 4 in the later stretches of the run. And now we'll see what the Aggies can do. They'll try to reapply that pressure. They challenge the passes on the wings, and now passing, challenging it down on the baseline and forcing the turnover.
And with 4:20 to go here at this point, Tate's probably thinking something like, let's see if we can cut this to 6. It's currently 12. If they can cut it in half and be down 6 at the half, I think they feel pretty good about that.
Well, just all night to play. A nice block.
Right.
That was, I don't know if Gaines got it from in front or if it was blocked by Young from behind. Might have been Young at 6'5". McDuffie now with the ball out front, getting it back from Banks. Caleb Young kicks it back out. McCreary, no. But Gaines has it stripped by Bettis, or rather by Brown, and commits the foul in the backcourt. Boy, you hate to have your big guy commit a foul 40 back there.
PHS getting a lot of offensive opportunities here. Second shots and third shots. We've seen it so far all night.
Tell you what, it's been a late arriving crowd, but it's a nice Monday night crowd here at PHS. There's Bettis working on McDuffie, and
Short.
Bettis will be way short. And stepped on the line before trying to save it. Did Keyshawn Qualls, number 1. Again, the pressure to McCreary. Almost tossed it away, but coming out with it is Young. And now to Banks. Rebound goes off to the Aggies. That is Black.
The PHS press break looks good, but once they break it, they don't have to try and force those shots. With the 12-point lead, it's okay to run a little bit of clock there once you get past half court.
Yeah, well, and that's one of the things Terrence Harris has talked about with his young team. Last year they were young, and they're still young, and now McDuffie's ahead of the pack. He'll take it.
Nice. Little floater.
He's got 12. 12 of the 26. And now PHS comes up with some, tried to put the double team on. That leaner doesn't go. And Brown couldn't get it to go. Comes back out to Bettis.
Nice. So nice. When he gets around the hoop, he's really creative.
And he's had to be. The shot's not there yet. Foul. Double foul. That's going to cost PHS because Gaines picked up a foul. And Skylar Bryant picked up a foul for Tate. So Gaines picks up his second. Boy, he's gotten 2 cheap fouls. One in the backcourt after turning the ball over, and then that one. And then Linwood Swem stepping in there to sort of calm everybody down. And
now
a technical foul on whom? Is that a double tech? Yeah, well, I think Gaines has one of them, and that would be his 3rd foul.
Wow, this thing's...
And now they're discussing it. Is this, he signaled double technical. It is a double technical on both Gaines for PHS, and that's his 3rd foul. And Skylar Bryant for PHS. So they had the personal foul, the double foul, and then they follow that up with the technical foul. So each picking up a couple.
Yeah, and it's going to be 35 free throws in a row now.
So Gaines is now on the bench. And into the game for PHS.
Nice pass.
As Caleb Young comes out to haul it in. Back to Banks, back to Young. Here comes the pressure. PHS has Felton Roberson in the game. By Williams. And that's Skylar Bryant down the lane and drawing the foul.
Yeah.
And that foul is on Felton Roberson, the sophomore forward. 6'3", number 44, and just the really kind of a lack of discipline to pick up the technical and pick up his third foul. Gaines picked up 3 fouls in a hurry. And so he's going to certainly have to sit out the final 2:30 of the first half, one would think. And Skylar Bryant goes to the line. Bryant, terrific athlete, played at West Florida Tech last year. Might have been their best athlete on an athletic team. He played the first game this year, injured his ankles, and has only been back in the lineup for the last 3 games. This is his 5th game of the year and his 4th game back from the injury. He gets 1 out of 2 free throws. 26-15. McCreary backing up, challenging Jordan Williams, and traveled.
So Tate gets a big turnover there with all that pressure. Trailing by 11 here.
Yeah, the 2 officials, one was might have been inclined to call a foul there, but he waited to see the official underneath the basket, had a better look, and he had the travel.
And good news if you're an Aggies fan then.
So it's an 11-point ball game. Again, you're talking about getting back within 6, and I'm not sure they have to do that at this point, because one of the great advantages PHS has had was the play of Isaiah Gaines, and he's got the 3 quick fouls. PHS goes to the zone.
Nice pass there.
Nice job occupying the middle of the zone, and Keyshawn Black gets it to go. Roberson. Nice pass, nice look from McCreary, and Roberson gets the bucket. That's a big basket for PHS. Get a 5-0
so
run.
Is that.
Whew. That's Bettis.
Yes. And that was smooth, and the big turnover there. And 2 more. That's Dennis Brown. And it's down to 7, Dan.
Roberson gives it to McDuffie. Well, it's a frantic final minute 30 right now. And Bettis, long 3. And he still doesn't have the outside range, but here comes the pressure defense. McCreary breaks the
somebody got to pick him up.
And he'll go to the line.
That's just too easy.
Skylar Bryant just picked up his 3rd.
McCreary just dribbles around 3 guys and gets himself to within 3 feet of the basket. Tate's big pressure's got to stop him somewhere farther away than that.
So McCreary, we mentioned he's under 50% on the year.
And 1 out of 3 tonight.
Goes. 10-point ball game, 31-21. We get down to about a minute to go here in the second quarter. Great pointer. Hit by Williams. Jordan Williams, finally heard from him.
And now they throw it away. The pressure is helping.
Jordan Williams is one of those guys he's a very confident shooter and a really good shooter. He can be a streaky shooter. He can get on a hot streak.
Well, if you're a streaky shooter and you hit your first, it's going to be a good night.
I was going to say, they're looking for him. Nice rebound. He kind of mistimed his jump at Caleb Young. Still controlled it. McCreary again.
Oh, great play.
Knocked loose. Johnson.
Wow.
Great move by Bettis.
Big time. Terrific quick points there.
McCreary, that's going to be an offensive foul. And now the Aggie fans, there are a lot of them here, are getting into it. Good charge. Great charge taken.
So 24 seconds to go. It's down to a 5-point lead.
Jeff Randolph was the one who took that charge. I didn't identify him at first. That's a good play. I saw him coming a mile away, so I'm going to take it.
Not easy.
19 seconds to go now, and the Aggies have closed within 5 after trailing by as many as 14.
They closed quickly, too.
Yep.
A lot of that because of the pressure. They had several quick, easy buckets based on Pensacola turnovers.
It was a 26-12 ball game with about 4 minutes to go, about midway through the second quarter. And since then, it's been a 14-5 Tate run. And we'll take the last shot here of the half, down 5. That's DJ Brown with Duffy on him.
Love that, it says. I love that ball in my hands right now.
Well, he's got a McCreary, the defensive back, on him.
2 seconds here. They get the layup.
And he's going to the line. Roberson commits the foul. So Roberson picks up the foul. That's his first. And at the end of the half here, they're going to put 3/10 of a second on the clock. And they're going to tell the Tigers to stay here because there's still 3/10 of a second to go.
Not halftime just yet.
And Terrence Harris said, I heard the buzzer. He said, no, we just put 3/10 of a second back on the clock. So they're going to have to line up on the free throw line.
Was that, do you know, that's 2 shots, right? That was
It's a 2-shot foul.
Yeah, okay.
Well, the reason this is important, you say, well, what can you do in 3/10 of a second? Well, heck, if you miss a free throw, somebody can get an offensive rebound and put it in.
Sure thing.
Yep. So
Tate will stay away, but like you said, Pensacola doesn't want to just have no one down there, or else it could work out real well for Mr. Brown.
Well, the last thing the Aggies want to do, obviously, then is go down there and commit a foul on a rebound and send PHS to the other end of the floor to shoot.
Big turnaround. This is setting up to be a terrific second half.
Absolutely. So, DJ Brown, 66% from the line this year. And there, boy, a couple of the Aggies. Keyshawn Black was looking to get on the lane, but they said, no, not you. It'll be Bettis and Williams getting on the lane. Long rebound.
Gets it and makes it.
That's Williams. Did it score? Did it count? All the officials are looking at each other. Did that count?
Incredible.
Can you do that in 3/10 of a second?
They counted it. Watch this. Throws it up. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
Man, that is something. Well, that's what can happen in 3/10 of a second.
Incredible. And, you know, up until, remember on the first free throw, Tate didn't even have their guys down there. They moved him in for the second shot, and it worked out real well. That's a good decision.
Well, it was. What an end of the half we had.
Wow.
And, the Tigers take a 3-point lead to the locker room at half. Ordinarily, you bring a team the quality of Tate in here, and you say we're going to lead by 3 at the half,
Right.
you'd be pretty happy. But I guarantee you, Terrence Harris isn't really thrilled with the way that half ended.
Well, the second half of that quarter really hurt them when that press kicked in. Tate started getting easy basket after easy basket.
All right, we're going to take a break. Pensacola High leading Tate 31-28 at the half. We'll be back. High School Hoops on WFGX. It is halftime here at PHS, where the PHS Tigers lead the Tate Aggies 31-28 after a wild first 16 minutes of basketball. Second half coming up a little later on. Pensacola High leading Tate 31-28. Emmanuel McDuffie leading the Tigers with 14 points. 10 points for Love Bettis in what started as a very quiet first half for the Tate scorer. And it's a 3-point ball game at the half. Couldn't ask for much more. Pensacola High and Tate teams coming back on the floor for the second half. We'll be back. All right, one team is back on the floor. Tate can't wait to get started in the second half the way the first half ended. Remember that the incredible runs we had. Tate started the game on an 8-2 run 3 minutes in. and then watched PHS score the next 22 points of the game to take a 24-8 lead. 16-point lead was the biggest lead of the night, and then the Aggies caught fire in the final 5:30 of the first half. Christian.
Yeah, the key to that, Dan, you had noted they hadn't scored. They went 8 minutes without scoring, but once they did, with about 5 minutes left in the second, it allowed them the chance to get into their press, and it worked. PHS got a little rattled, turned it over a few times, and Tate was able to get some quick and easy buckets, and it went from about 14 points to 6, it seemed like, in about 2 minutes.
Well, the leading scorers, Emmanuel McDuffie's had a big first half scoring for PHS. The junior guard who's averaging 13 points a game. He is their leading scorer. He's averaging 13 a game, and he has 14 in the first half to lead the way for PHS. For the Tate Aggies, Love Bettis averaging 24 a game. He got off to a slow start, never did get his outside shot. I don't think he hit an outside shot, but he has 10, and a lot of them on penetrations. He finds a way to score. There are shooters and there are scorers, and he's actually both, but he really is a bona fide scorer.
Yeah, that's what I was going to point out. Guys like that who just know how to score when they're not hitting the outside shot, they will find ways. And he had a couple of buckets that were really impressive because, again, PHS has big size. So when he got to the hole, he had to do some maneuvering to get those shots off, and he got them off, and they went in. So no surprise he came up big and has 10 of their 28 points.
And there's a big one of the big turning points in the first half. Isaiah Gaines, the 6'6" center for PHS, picked up 3 quick fouls. The third one was a technical foul, a part of a double technical. So he picked two fouls up without the clock even running, and that was a big part of the Tate's run. All right, we're ready for the second half. We'll take one more break. We'll be back second half. Tate and PHS, we have a 3-point game. All right, well, here we go. Second half of play here in our season opener of the high school hoops on WFGX series. Pensacola High and Tate. PHS, Terrence Harris did not like the way that first half ended, the last 4 minutes or so.
And including the last .3, which had the terrific rebound and immediate putback, which pulled this thing from 5 to 3, and a great way for Tate to end the half.
All right, PHS has the ball to start the second half. That is Caleb Young, and here we go. McCreary, who had a good first half for PHS, is sort of calming things down, if nothing else. And
that's a tough pass to try and get in there from the opposite side of the court.
Yeah, McDuffie's pointing at himself. Hey, my bad. Bad pass. Zipped it past Gaines. So you have Gaines in the lineup there, along with Young. Caleb Young there down low. And then out front, you have McDuffie at the top of the zone. Three-pointer on the way. Needs a bounce. Doesn't get it. Gaines grabs the rebound. Tywan Thomas coming out with it. McCreary. And he'll go to the line. That foul is on Keyshawn Black.
Right there, got him on the hand as he let it go.
That's his third foul on Keyshawn Black.
That three a moment ago from Tate, that's Jordan Williams. That's not a bad three. He had an open look, and he hit a couple of shots earlier.
McCreary at the free throw line, made his last two.
There you go.
It's 3 in a row. I thought it was really important for PHS maybe to get, if not the first points of the second half, and maybe have a good first 3 or 4 minutes. That's always such a critical part of any ball game. I think it's especially true with PHS in this one, the way the last 5 minutes played out in the first half.
Nice extra pass there, gets the open look.
McDuffie. Well, he's got the hot hand tonight.
And that extra pass got him the open look, and he knocked it down.
And he's got 17. McDowell tried to force it. McCreary running, and Thomas can't handle it.
Coming right at our camera guy there.
Hanging in.
Yeah.
Took the charge.
He was moving.
It's a foul in the backcourt on Taiwan Thomas, who just got his fourth.
So you talked about a big start needed for PHS. That's certainly what's happened. Tate needs something to go right here. Just a minute 15 into the quarter.
Well, we know they can turn it around in a hurry.
Yeah, we saw it.
Bettis. McDowell on the boards. And, of course, he has Gaines, who really can't do much inside defensively with the 3 fouls.
Right.
And McDowell could not convert, so that's kind of a freebie for PHS. That McDowell was there in position, and PHS got the defensive stop. And then PHS comes up with a loose ball, and there's
in and out.
McDuffie missing the 3 that time.
Everyone on his bench thought he was going to make it, though. Big defensive play there.
Yep, ball knocked loose by McCreary. Those are the kinds of things he does. He just has a tough football player's competitive mentality. And, he's a guy who's not going to score a bunch usually. We've seen him score have some nice scoring nights. But he just is one of those guys who just has the toughness. And, boy, McDuffie's feeling it. He's got 19.
He says, just give me the rock.
And once again, PHS back up by 10.
And applying a little pressure in the corner there. And 20-second
timeout taken by Tate. So let's take a quick break here as the Tigers lead it by 10. Well, PHS, Terrence Harris did not like the way the first half ended. He likes the way the second half has started. So the Tate Aggies, Clyde Abney taking the timeout, the quick 30-second timeout after watch his Aggies, after pulling within 3 at the half, fall behind by 10. And that one won't go.
It's a great take to the hole, too. That's back-to-back possessions for Tate where they did not complete the layup.
I tell you what, though, I'm impressed with Gaines, the presence he's been able to give, even in foul trouble. He's not able to fully challenge, but he's there.
Yeah.
Nice move, nice runner, nice shot by Shandarius Washington, the sophomore. 40-28. And a foul by Washington.
And you're right, at 6'6", Gaines does create a presence. He's averaging 10 points a game, but just as valuable as what he's doing on defense, even with the fouls.
You're really seeing a young team that Terrence Harris has at PHS, what they're capable of. Because they've handled defensive pressure, they've handled a tough game situation, and they've applied defensive pressure. They've also handled foul trouble. McDuffie, before the shot attempt, he is fouled out on the floor.
And remember, PHS playing Tate here. Tate, very good team. They have started the season 10-1. Here you can see the Bob Tyler Toyota instant replay there.
And Dennis Brown, DJ Brown reaching in, picking up his 3rd personal foul. So he has 3. Keyshawn Black has 3. Skylar Bryant has 3 for Tate. And, of course, Gaines has 3 for PHS. And he draws one on McDowell. McDowell just throws his hands up in exasperation. I don't know what I did, but he picked up his 3rd foul. It's 4 Aggies with 3 fouls now, with just under 5 minutes to go in the 3rd. There's McDuffie. Offensive rebound controlled, and Gaines scores.
And a great pass, too. Really well done.
Blocking foul out front by McDuffie. Well,
Gaines has been quite the force. He's only got 4 points, and it feels like we're saying his name on every possession. He's really coming up big tonight.
Ooh. Boy, I tell you, they saw the travel and loose ball. And
how does Tate get that back? PHS essentially had a 3-on-0.
And they did, but a foul committed in the backcourt. Oh, who's getting it? I thought they called that on Keyshawn Black, number 10 for Tate. No, instead they called it on Shandarius Washington. And Terrence Harris is arguing about the start of that play when the Aggie player was on the floor and got up. And he calling for the travel.
Dan, midway through the quarter, Tate's yet to score. I'd stand by that.
Yeah, it looked like the shot was straight, wasn't it? Looked good.
They have had a slow start.
Nice slash and going to the line will be Washington. He draws the foul this time from Keyshawn Black, and that's number 4 on Black.
We've seen this a lot tonight. You know, Tate is pressing pretty much constantly when they can. PHS is breaking that press consistently. Where they've gotten themselves in trouble is when they try to force shots after the press break. They didn't there, had a great opportunity.
All right, so Washington goes back to the free throw line. 50% free throw shooter on the year, the Andy Citron free throw. 7 for 14 from the line coming into this game.
0 for 3 tonight.
He's got a better release than a 50% free throw shooter should. He should make more.
All right.
You know, sometimes you'll see a 50% shooter and I get it.
That makes a lot of sense.
But he's got
nice soft touch.
Pretty balanced at the line. And it's a nice
that
release.
Good.
Comes off
Boom.
his hand. There we go.
Good call, Mr. Shugart.
Bettis is challenged inside by Gully.
Oh, he travels.
And a travel by McCreary is, and he can't believe that. Well, he kind of got his legs tangled a little. Yeah, he did. He kind of shuffled his feet. He did. He got his feet tangled with a couple of his teammates. And their challenge to that was Gully taking on Dennis Brown. And now Ahmad Banks can't get it to go. And here comes Love Bettis at the other end.
Woo!
Well, it was almost too good a pass for its own good.
I was going to say exactly that. It was too darn good. And as a result, Dan, Tate still hasn't scored in the quarter.
And we played 4.5 minutes, 3:30 to play left in the third quarter. Back into the game now is Skylar Bryant. Well, I never would have imagined a 22-0 run and a separate 12-0 run. And that's going to be a foul.
That's a bad foul.
Yeah, that's a bad foul by Jordan Williams. Going over the back, you have almost no chance of making a play. You have a really good chance of getting the foul called.
Watch the hold.
And then you get a headbutt at the end for your trouble.
Coach Harris keeps saying, watch the hold, watch the hold.
Breaking the press, here they come. Here comes Washington. Down to Gully.
Nice.
And Gully draws the foul on Bryant, I believe.
That's a good aggressive move there from Gully. That's a big guy who handles the ball real well. Nicely done there.
He's not really a shooter. He scores about 4 points a game, gets about 4 rebounds. He gives a great defensive boost, and that good size inside. But yeah, he's shown some good footwork for a big man around the basket. He's a 43% free throw shooter. I was reasonably certain you were going to say, but he's 100% on that one. Thank you, America, for not.
Yeah. Jeff Randolph checks in there for Tate. Took the big charge earlier.
Yep. Now, that was a 43% free throw right there.
That made a lot of sense.
That one made sense. And a lane violation on Tate. You'll get another crack at it.
He'll get another chance.
Well,
Andy Citron gets another chance too. Andy Citron free throw here. Over the back.
Foul called on Ahmad Banks. That's his first.
I'd say if you're a Tate fan, it's about time for them to get something going here.
Well, and they had about 4 or 5 possessions right in the middle of that run where they really forced it and seemed to be in much more of a rush than they needed to be. Getting it in his hands, a two-handed block. Mercy. Gully. Tiberius Gully saying all of me is up there.
I would say golly. Nice pass.
Yeah, you would.
Oh!
Foul before the drive, I believe. And that's going to be the second quick second foul on Ahmad Banks.
Just a nightmare quarter for Tate. Still yet to score. Nice pass there.
And that'll change. That'll end that as an inbounds play. So they get their first points with 3 minutes to go in the quarter.
And that allows them the chance to get in this press, which PHS did have some trouble with, and they're having trouble here.
And a 20-second timeout taken by PHS with the possession in jeopardy. So we'll keep it right here.
Dan, that's why it's so important for Tate to score. Aside from the points, it allows them the chance to get into that press. And we saw, especially midway through that second quarter, PHS had some real trouble with it.
Well, I'm just, you were looking at, it's a 14-point ball game, which obviously is a substantial lead with just under 11 minutes to go in the game. But PHS has a 13-0 run and a 22-0
wow.
run. So you have 35-0 in 2 runs, and Tate's not out of it.
Incredible. Wow. 35-0 over 2 separate runs. That's incredible. But Tate, and maybe Tate more suited than most to make a run because of that press that they run so effectively, and guys like Bettis who can take it to the hole quickly.
Well, and they are, but when they are really lighting it up, when they're at their best offensively, they're hitting some outside shots because they've got people who can really hit the three.
They've struggled with
Bettis
that tonight.
hasn't done that tonight.
No.
No one has.
Jordan Williams also has 1 3 on the night. Bettis has 10 points, but no threes.
Well, Keyshawn Black is their best three-point shooter statistically, 38%. And he doesn't have one. So,
well, they're due.
yeah.
They're going to light it up in the fourth.
McDuffie back out there. He's had a nice night. And PHS will run some clock, obviously, as Tate's sitting back and
2-3 zone.
In that 2-3 zone, yep. They're going to have to go out and get him. Inside, and that's,
oh man,
turnover on the sideline. That's Washington saying, hey, that's on me.
So Tate not putting much pressure there, playing the 2-3 zone. They still get the turnover, which is just what the doctor ordered now late in the third quarter.
Yeah, that's a gift. That's Bettis. And Washington on him. Actually, it's that zone, but it's virtually a matchup zone on Bettis. He's not going to get open. Bank shot does not go by Qualls, but Tate keeps it.
Yeah, Randolph with a nice offensive board there.
Ball knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Aggies with 1:47 to play. I mean, it's a big trip. You get down to 12 and have a chance to get to 10 going into the fourth quarter. I think you feel pretty good about the way, where you are, considering the way the quarter has gone.
Agreed, yeah. Everything's relative, and this has been a bad quarter. So if they could cut it to 10, although that miss doesn't help.
Williams I think he thought somebody caught him on the arm.
Another turnover.
That's one you just can't afford. Caleb Young going behind the back for no apparent reason. And scoring at the other end is Brown.
And PHS quickly gets the ball inbounds. That did not let Tate get into that press.
But then he stepped on the sideline.
Still a turnover. 3 straight turnovers now we've seen from PHS.
PHS turns the ball over 18 times a game, which is high. For Tate turns it over 14. But of course, you both play kind of this
quick,
high intensity, high tempo game. Still, 18 turnovers is a lot, but those kinds of turnovers just really aren't forced. Those are the ones that kill you.
That was a big moment right there.
McDuffie. Man,
what a game he's having.
21 for McDuffie. And that's a huge basket for PHS.
Oh, wow.
floater by Brown, and he'll go to the line.
That was good looking right there. See if we can get a Bob Tyler replay on that, because that was pretty. And needed, too. Here we go.
And he went over, it's over Gully.
Had to throw it that high.
Yep.
Over Gully. Beautifully done.
And the free throw woes continue.
Great pass. Oh, mercy. That's such a nice pass from McDuffie, though.
Man, it's been an intense game. Been probably more whistles than anyone would like, including the officials. They'd rather not.
Sure.
But it's a, you know, when the game's played at this speed and this intensity, you try to keep it under control somewhat. But again, an opportunity to get within striking distance going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, late in the quarter here in the bonus. Misses it. Another missed free throw with the offensive board.
And tied him up. That'll stay with Tate. "36 seconds to go." Bettis, I was going to say he's due for a big one, and that's not it. But they'll get it back, and they'll get another look.
That's an open look, too. Oh, mercy. Hit the top of the backboard, but how about that?
So Bettis lays it up and in.
Cut it to 10.
10-point game.
It's a bad foul. Riding his back 50 feet from the basket.
I think that was Keyshawn Qualls who picked it up. And so McCreary goes to the line. He's been to the line a lot. But he's in his last three, right? Well, an offensive rebound by Washington. Loses it and stays with it.
Big play there. 5 seconds to go here.
Got to be aware of where you are. Yep. As far as the clock's concerned, well, a big quarter for PHS. They went into the quarter with a 31-28 lead, and they come out of it with a 12-point lead, 48-36. So the Tigers take a 12-point lead into the final 8 minutes of play here on High School Hoops on WFGX. All right, 8 minutes of basketball left to play here at Pensacola High, and PHS leading Tate 48-36. The Tate Aggies have lost once all year. That was the Coral Springs Taravella, and it was a ball game down in South Florida in Coral Springs in a tournament over the holiday. They played pretty well that night, got in some foul trouble against a very big team, but that's it.
Well,
so
and
PHS
just
trying to hand them their second loss.
Sorry about that. Just as you thought it was very important for PHS to have a big first 3 or 4 minutes in the third, the same thing is true here. If Tate can score a couple of times quickly and get into that press, it's going to give them a chance.
That's not a shot they really need from McCreary, but McDuffie will launch it.
They'll take his. Incredible night for McDuffie.
24 points for McDuffie.
He's got 4 threes on the night, so half his points have come from behind the arc. Tate down 15 now. Got their work cut out for him.
Well, they're gonna have to hit some threes. They're gonna have to hit some outside shots, I think. You know, they can make a run without doing that, but I think that'd be asking a lot in the final 8 minutes. Williams had hit a three earlier, can't get that one to go, but he'll run down the loose ball and then lose it back to Banks. Nice effort by Jordan Williams, but Lamar Banks comes up with it.
Nice pass.
Nice pass inside the Banks.
Woo! McDuffie doing it all tonight. Terrific pass there.
Runner, that won't go, and Gaines pulls down the rebound. I can't get over how effective Gaines has been after picking up those 3 fouls.
Yeah, he's been great.
McDowell comes down with a rebound, outlet, and Aggies trying to score in a hurry.
Yeah, down 17. It's getting to be do or die time. He traveled.
And DJ Brown knows he did it too.
You know they're going to press. It's a real impressive showing so far from PHS.
Well, again, we talked about a young team, you know, what they're capable of, and they'd have to be enthused about what they just two seniors on this team.
And you know, remember they come in 9-3, so it's been a good year. Getting tested tonight, and so far passing brilliantly.
So Gaines goes to the free throw line now, and he's a 61% free throw shooter. This is not a great free throw shooting team.
What a presence Gaines is. I think he's only got 2 points on the night, but he has affected this game greatly. Both on both sides of the ball. He's gotten a lot of offensive boards. And there is the presence right there, though he does draw the foul.
That's number 4.
Right there, he got him. Bob Tyler replay for you. Now a couple of Andy Citron free throws coming your way.
McDowell to the free throw line, and he's 10 for 20 on the year. So,
well, then he's going to make this one.
There you go. But Tate's just struggling. They're 0 for 4 from the free throw line in the second half.
Nice. That sharp looking ball handling skills.
That's a sophomore. That's Washington. And now a foul away from the basket on Dennis Brown. He just shakes his head. He's been frustrated much of the night. See what he does here. See what he got. Yeah, he didn't think he really got him, but you reach around that far, you're going to get that whistle a lot.
That was Sean Darius Brown handling that ball so impressively moments ago.
So Isaiah Gaines comes to the bench with his after 4 foul, picking up his 4th foul, and Tydarius Gully, who has played well, both in the twin tower look with both of them in the lineup, and then also early in the game when he replaced him when Gaines got into that foul trouble. McCrary may have found a stroke in the line.
5 out of 9 on the night.
There you go. 60% for the night.
Aggressive move there.
Yeah.
You call that on the floor, or is he going to get the shooting foul?
He's going to get the. I think he's going to get the foul on the shot. He is shooting 2.
Okay.
So Gully picked up his 3rd foul. I'll tell you what. I mean, it's under 6 minutes, just under 6 minutes to go. So a lot of time is left. And this parade to the free throw line. First of all, the Aggies got to make some. They're 0 for 4 in the second half, and they've missed their last 6 free throws.
Incredible.
They made 3 of their first 4. And they've missed 6 now, so they're 3 for 10 from the line tonight.
Although here's Love Bettis, as we've been saying, averages about 24 points a game.
Yeah, he's an 86% free throw shooter.
So if you're looking for somebody to break the spell, this is the guy you want on the line.
All right, shooting 2, and again you get a good free throw shooter at the line, and the clock's not running.
His first free throw of the night.
Bettis, 86%. Jordan Williams, their numbers are remarkably similar. Love Bettis, of course, is the engine, the offensive engine on this team. But, Jordan Williams has very similar numbers to what Bettis has. First points of the 4th quarter for the Aggies. McDuffie, he loves that runner.
What a night.
And why not?
Yeah, everything he throws up seems to go in tonight.
26 for McDuffie. DJ Brown, rebound comes off to Gully and McDowell. They tie him up. Alternate possession will stay with Tate. Skylar Bryant will also check into the lineup for the Aggies. Replacing Qualls. Keyshawn Qualls comes out.
At this point, going to need to be a monumental comeback for Tate.
Well,
that's a nice way to start it. Yeah.
That's a start.
Gets them into their press.
But they're doing a lot better job against the press. He carried the ball into Banks. He had Washington on the left wing, and then suddenly he wasn't open anymore. And turned it over, and boy, Ahmad Banks knew immediately. But again, another turnover, just an unforced error.
Yeah, we've seen a few of them. The only reason this thing is still a game, and another big shot.
McDowell, strong move inside.
Back-to-back plays, too.
15-point game with over 5 minutes to go. Banks, and he will go to the line. And McDowell, that 4 on McDowell, I believe. That's 5 fouls on McDowell, so that's a big loss. He scored their last 2 baskets, but as much as anything else, he gave him some of that presence inside. But Darren McDowell, terrific Aggie baseball player, goes over and shakes hands with the coaching staff over on the PHS bench before checking out to the Tate bench.
Nice gesture there.
Yep. And now Ahmad Banks, and he, again, we mentioned PHS really does struggle at the line. Andy Citron free throw, 54% on the year.
Yeah, McDowell, who just fouled out, 6'4", 245, and we know how important a presence inside is for Tate right now. So that is a significant loss.
Yeah, but again, you know, that's probably the first thing a team that has a hard time hanging on to a lead does is miss free throws. Miss free throws and turnovers. PHS has done a lot of both.
And not finishing layups.
And Gully. Wow. Gully.
That's 4 good looks they could not complete. 4 good looks there.
That's a goaltend. That's a goaltend in the basket. Goes to DJ Brown,
who's hobbling a little bit. No, looks like he's okay.
So it's a 13-point game, 4:32 to play. Gaines back into the lineup now for PHS. So you have, and Gully's coming out. Okay, I thought they were going to leave both of them in there, which would have surprised me. 2 big men when you're really trying to move and hang on to the ball, make some free throws. Okay. 2-2-1 press. Thomas back to back down low. He gets it to Gaines. Wow, good move inside Isaiah Gaines.
Yeah, power move there. Boy, if he can finish like that consistently, look out. That would be tough to stop for anybody.
McDowell loses it out of bounds as Brown knocked it out of his hands. So 4 minutes to go. We're halfway through the 4th quarter. And PHS lead back to 15.
Gaines at 6'6", and a move like that, Dan, that would be big time if he can get that going consistently. Look out come districts.
Yeah, you know, he's a junior, so what if he puts what if he grows another couple of inches?
Oh, nice.
Nice drive by Thomas, tipped by Gaines, and a nice job on the boards by Isaiah Gaines. And we'll go to the free throw line. Fouls on Bryant, who I believe just fouled out. He did indeed. So Bryant and McDowell both fouled out. Keyshawn Black has 4. Black is in the lineup, along with Jeff Randolph, DJ Brown, and into the lineup now is Michael Fountain. Number 12 checks into the game for the first time. Andy Citron free throws by Isaiah Gaines off the back iron. They never go in off the back iron.
By the way, you noted it earlier, great crowd tonight. Really is. Both teams brought plenty. Makes for an exciting debut for high school hoops here on WFGX.
Our next broadcast Friday night, doubleheader. And made 1 out of 2 to Gaines. 60-44. We'll be at Pine Forest, the doubleheader, Pine Forest in Washington.
PHS gets the big turnover there.
Thomas hangs on.
Oh, nice play.
Nicely by DJ Brown, and Love Bettis to score. 14 points, 3.5 to go. And they turn it over.
Stops the clock, that's the offense.
Bettis loses it, and again trying to do a little too much. Coming up with a loose ball was Gully, and he was fouled by Love Bettis. Frustrating night for Love Bettis.
I agree with that, despite the fact that he's got 14.
16 I have.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll go with you. Oh, right, sorry. Those free throws count, right?
Free throws too.
Forgot to check the bottom line.
Spent my life not checking the bottom line.
Yeah. Dan Shugart, everybody.
Regrettably, I'll be here all week.
Yeah. Not ideal, I'd submit.
Bettis with 16, of course. 26 for Emmanuel McDuffie, who's had a terrific night, and really he helped them weather the storm when Tate was making a big run in the first half. McDuffie, well, actually, he had all those points early as they built the lead, but he had a couple of big baskets in the first half to kind of keep the Aggies from running away. Gully gets another.
Back to 15 with 3:20. Maybe too tall an order for Tate at this point.
Seven points for Gully. He hits both of them.
Knocks them both down.
And then a steal by Caleb Young. And
you know, Dan, both teams have been pretty careless tonight. You talked about their turnovers. We've seen it on both ends.
We have. And right now, those kinds, taking that kind of a risk to the basketball when you have this kind of a lead. When they talk about, when Terrence Harris talks about making good decisions and having an idea what's going on the floor. And there you go. There's a three-point opportunity for Dennis Brown. Nice move by DJ. And he was fouled by Gully. But these are the kinds of things that they... And Isaiah Gaines will replace Gully. These are the kinds of things, you have the big lead, and I'm not saying necessarily they may not want to slow it down, because then you play, especially a team that can really apply pressure and force the turnovers. But,
it's a big three-point play there.
Yep.
So we got a timeout.
Full timeout. We'll take a break. 2:47 to play. PHS by 13. All right, 2:47 to play. A 13-point Pensacola High lead, 62-49, and it's a game that Tate has applied the pressure. PHS, to at least some extent, with a big lead. They've maintained the pace. They've also turned the ball over a few times that I'm sure Terrence Harris is just shaking his head.
And this was only a 3-point game at the half, but it was that first 6 minutes of the third quarter when Tate did not score. That was the difference in the game, despite the fact that the first half was a series of runs from either side. But this thing got separated first 5 minutes of the third quarter, and Tate just hadn't been able to put together a run this time.
It was a 13-0 run by PHS at the start of the second half, and that was in response to the great finish of the first half, including from a Pensacola High standpoint, a heartbreaking basket they gave up, a freebie on a free throw with 3/10 of a second to go, and Tate really took a lot of momentum into the locker room, and PHS responded in a big way with a 13-0 run in the third.
And note that they're up 13, so that's the difference in the game right now, that 13-0 run.
Michael Fountain called for the foul. And
it's like Gaines will go for the bonus.
Shooting 2. We're in the double bonus.
Got it, 10-4.
He's 61% on the year, which it's the bottom edge of not bad. But I tell you, hit the ball. He seems to have a nice touch. Again, a nice release.
That looked good.
And you get some rolls sometimes when you have that nice release. 2:43 to play.
Tate down 14 now. Slashing to the hoop.
Down the lane, and here comes Washington the other end, and fouled by DJ Brown.
I'd be curious to see that. I thought he might have got all ball. Nope, I'm wrong. He definitely got him on the arm. Good call.
4 fouls on him. There may be a roster depth check by the end of this thing. There's all the people in foul trouble. We're already out. McDowell's out. Scott O'Brien's out. Black and Brown each has 4. Washington misses the free throw.
Missed them both.
Keyshawn Black hits the 3. As I said, he's a 38% three-point shooter, and PHS turns it over. And here comes McDuffie out with it.
McDuffie's had an incredible night.
He sure has. And inside Gully will go to the line as he draws the foul. And that foul was on Jeff Randolph. I tell you what, we've had some different players who've done some nice things, for PHS in this ball game. Obviously, Gaines, well, he was in there, played awfully well. Gully did a great job off the bench. But it's kind of hard to argue with the player of the game, in my estimation, being McDuffie with the hot hand when they needed it.
He's been incredible. He's made a few threes, but also has had some terrific touch shots a little bit closer to the basket. Your PHS, you're going to come away from this game, though, feeling good, certainly, if you're able to close this out, Dan. But they cannot ignore the free throw situation. It has been, they're up 11, and they have been abysmal from the line. That's something that may not hurt them tonight, but a month from now certainly could matter big. Another miss there.
They're 10 for 22 in the second half. They are 12 for 28 from the free throw line tonight.
Something to watch. Got to do better than that.
2 minutes to go.
That 3 from
Randolph
Dennis Brown.
Go to the line, I guess. He will indeed.
Dennis Brown take a 3 from way beyond and hit the top of the backboard. He has not had it all night.
And I'm going to assume from the incredulous look from Caleb Young that he was the one called for the foul. Randolph goes to the line. I believe this is his first trip to the free throw line all year.
He's a lefty. I like him already.
Caleb Young checks out. Did not score in the second half. He had 5 in the first half. The former Tate Aggie playing against his old teammates as Randolph gets 1 out of 2. 64-53, 11-point game. Still 1:49 to go. Stranger things have happened, but
yeah,
at some point Tate's going to have to hit a 3.
They're not going to be able to play straight up defense either at this point. They're going to have to foul.
Gaines goes down low to Gully, and they'll foul down low. Randolph is the one, I believe, whistled for the foul. He is. See what happens. See if he elbowed him in the back. Yeah, a little shove. Yep, that's what he did.
Yeah, you know, down 11 with under 2 to play, you can't just play straight up D. You know, you're going to have to start fouling. No shot clock in high school basketball. PHS will be happy to hold it all night.
And obviously fouling a team that doesn't, you know, that struggles
Sure,
from the line
right.
is that's one way to get back in. 14 for 30 from the line tonight. Gully's been okay.
Nice.
I'd say he's got a nice release.
Yeah.
Minute and a half to go. It's 13. Bettis. PHS has really done a nice job on Bettis. Long 3 from Brown.
We just haven't shot well all night. Look at this. Woo.
And that'll be number 5 on Isaiah Gaines, who fouls out with 1:12 to play. And you know, when he picked up the 3 quick ones in the first half, I think if you told Terrence Harris, hey, you'll have him till the 1:12 mark, at which point you'll have a 13-point lead.
He said, okay,
Yep.
deal.
Deal me in. Keyshawn Black, pretty good. Is a good free throw shooter, 68%. And even he can't get him to go. Out of bounds to Tate. Stick around after the game, folks. We'll have our three-pointer finally goes for Black. 66-56. 1:06 to play. It's a 10-point game.
Big 3 there from Black.
This couldn't still be a game, could it, Christian?
Down 10 with 1:06. It's going to take those missed free throws we've been talking about, and Tate's going to finally have to really hit some shots. They've got the guys to do it who haven't been able to do it all night. So, you know, it sets up okay, but obviously okay is about the best you're going to get when you're down 10 with 1:06 to go.
Meanwhile, over in the Pensacola High huddle, Terrence Harris, and you know they've stuck to the way they want to play, and obviously Tate has picked up the pace with the pressure defense, and you kind of have to handle that. But I would be stunned if they don't pull the thing out and try to milk some of this final minute.
And PHS is in the double bonus, so every time they get fouled, they will be getting 2 free throws. And of course, Tate with all the foul trouble, how many more fouls can they get before they're down to 2 guys on the court?
Well, you're loose, right? You can play?
Oh, gotcha. You know what? You don't got to ask me twice. Actually, you did. You specifically had to ask me twice.
I think that was the definition of asking twice. You ready to go, Christian?
Say it again.
I don't know if we have a shot of the schedule we have coming up this year on high school hoops on WFGX next Friday, this coming Friday, Washington and Pine Forest. Doubleheader, girls and the boys games starting at 6 o'clock. Pace at Milton, Crestview. We're going to run on Fridays after that. Pace at Milton, Crestview's at Choctaw, Gulf Breeze at Catholic, and Pine Forest at Tate to finish things off.
Speaking of finishing things off, that's what PHS is going to try and do now. But there's the turnover.
Randolph knocks it loose, and Tate comes out with it. And a block shot, but a foul with 56 seconds to go.
Randolph has quietly had a really important night. He's done 2 or 3 things that have significantly helped, and that was a big one right there.
And Caleb Young, he got him on the arm. You can see it. So, a 10-point game. DJ Brown goes to the line. Now, can Tate make a free throw? Brown's a good free throw shooter. Pretty good free throw shooter. 66.
Big.
Got them both.
And gives him a chance to get back in that press.
8-point game.
Near travel right there.
McDuffie.
I don't think McDuffie wants to give it up after the night he's had. And
then McCreary throws it away. Wow. Wow.
Coach Harris. Look, Coach Harris. Like, are you kidding me? Look. Looks like a frustrated coach there. Nice pass.
Dishes it to Randolph. Blocked by Gully. Wow. That's a big block.
It sure is.
You make a 6-point game with 40 seconds the way the...
Yeah, down to 2 possessions if he makes that. Great pass, though.
There's Black. Leaner. Rebound and going to the line. Foul on Gully. And going to the line will be Dennis Brown,
who made his last 3.
Wow.
It's been a big quarter for Tate. If this is the CBA, they're walking out of here with a quarter point, if nothing else.
Well, you've finally gotten old enough to make a really, really vague reference.
You and I both knew I'd do a CBA joke on night 1.
All right, 34 seconds to go. And DJ Brown had just hit 2 free throws. Back to try 2 more. He could cut it to 6. Rattles it in.
Now this one's really important because he makes this one, they get a chance to get into their press.
Boom. Hit them both. 4 straight free throws by the Aggies. They pulled within 6. Foul in the backcourt.
Not a bad foul there. They nearly got the steal, but once they didn't, you got to stop that clock.
And especially it's Michael Fountain, who came in very late in the game with all the disqualifications for fouls, and so he picked up the foul. He's got 3 fouls, but if you're going to pick a guy to get the foul, that's who you want.
McCreary's been at the line all night, too.
Yeah, but now, you know, he found his stroke and hit 4 in a row earlier, but now there's a little more juice attached to these. All right, McCreary. Missed them both. Knocked off of Thomas, who can't believe it. He doesn't believe he went off his hand, but here come the Aggies. Down 6. Knocked loose and stolen by PHS. Great turnover. It was McCreary who knocked it loose.
That's a big play right there.
And that might be the game-saving play, although 25 seconds is a long time in this game.
Got to make a free throw.
Yep. The guy going to the free throw line is Caleb Young, 56% on the year. DJ Brown fouled out and goes down and congratulates the...
That's really nice. I had not seen that before. I appreciate them doing that. You know, Tate has come all the way back. They're down 6. They had to be more careful with the ball there. I mean, what an important possession that was. Great defensive play, but man, you got to get a shot off when you're trying to complete this comeback.
1 out of 2 for Caleb Young, 67-60, so it's a 3-score game.
Look at
Bettis,
that shot.
well, he hadn't hit one yet, so just a rough night on shooting from Love Bettis. And now bringing it out, that'll be Taiwan Thomas, and there you go. That's exactly what Tigers need right now. They're going to salt this one away. Finally, the anxious minutes in the final few minutes. A foul there with just 3.5 seconds to go. But PHS is going to get out of here with I wouldn't say it was a comfortable win, but it's a good win.
It's a very good win. Yeah, Tate's really good coming in here 10-1. Premier backcourt, but PHS, Young, and getting it done tonight.
And again, they did 2 things. They responded, they fell behind 6-0, went off on a heck of a run, a 22-0 run in the first half. And then after the Aggies closed within 3 with a great run at the end of the second half. I mean, a young team can melt at that point.
Absolutely.
They did get halftime to kind of regroup, but boy, they came out and stormed the second half, 13-0 run to take control of this game, and then did enough to hang on at the end.
I think what you just said there was important. The fact that the big run from Tate, this will end it right here.
Yep. Bettis didn't fall, and that's kind of night it was for Love Bettis. Terrific guard, just had an off night. And you got to credit PHS defense for that. Tigers come up with a big win, and they lead it, or they win it, and move the record to 10-3, and the Aggies fall to 10-2. So Pensacola High wins a big one here on their home court. 68-60 was the final.
An interesting game there, Dan, because despite the fact that it was never that close, both teams went on runs. It was extremely exciting.
All right, we are going to talk to the winning coach, winning team, present the Bob Tyler Player of the Game Award and a winning trophy to the Pensacola High Tigers. When we come back, PHS beats Tate 68-60. We'll be right back to wrap it up. All right, back at Pensacola High School hoops on WFGX. The Pensacola High Tigers have just knocked off the Tate Aggies, handing the Aggies their second loss of the year, 68-60. There were about 15 different games in one. We're standing by with Terrence Harris, head coach of the Tigers. You must have died 1,000 deaths, but you have to be proud of the win.
I'm glad we won. This game is very similar to many we've had the last 4 games, so it's good to win. I mean, we're getting better as a team, and we're just learning how to win. And so that's what it's a process, and that's what it's about.
Well, Christian and I were talking. We were impressed about a number of things. Tate comes out, scores 6 points right off the bat. You respond with a 22-0 run. Maybe even more impressively, it was after the way the first half ended, and suddenly it's a 3-point ball game. You came back and seized control of the game in the early second half again. How did you do that?
Well, I thought limiting the turnovers was going to be key to this game. I mean, I knew they were going to bring a lot of pressure. It's the way they play. They'll run a couple guys at us, they'll trap us a little bit, and we just needed to take care of the basketball. And for us to control the game, we needed to just make better passes and run our offense and get the ball in hands with guys who can take care of it and do what we need to do. I just felt like they hurried us a little bit. And so coming out in the second half, I just wanted us to slow down some, play with a little bit more poise so that we can score a little bit better.
Did you kind of want to slow things down yourself a little bit? Would you rather pull a few things out there maybe in the fourth quarter, protecting that lead, or did you kind of want to, I know you wanted to, they'd sped you up a little bit, but did you still want to do what you were doing?
I wanted to do what we were doing. I mean, it's with the way that they're playing, it's kind of hard to slow down because the kids, when they see 2 guys coming at them, it's kind of automatic. They kind of want to play a little bit faster. But you still have to know what we're doing once we get on the other side of half court. And that's kind of what we talked about at halftime. They're going to speed us up. And that was the kind of game it was going to be. But we still need to do what we had to do in order to win the game. And I think that, more importantly, making some free throws really helped. If it wasn't for free throws, this game would be a lot closer.
Yeah. You also, Isaiah Gaines gets a foul trouble in the first half. I thought he was still effective playing with 3 fouls when he came out when he played the second half.
Yeah, he usually protects himself pretty well. He's done a good job all year long of kind of just getting big, using his length Sometimes big guys just kind of want to try to block everything, but he's a smart, he's a heady player, and so you just say, hey, use your length, make them have to shoot over you. I thought the fouls were a little bit, some of the ones he caught, they were not necessarily fouls, but that's a choice opinion. But both big guys got in foul trouble, and we just have to. We have to play and we have to make adjustments. And, that's, with our team, I can play with a variety of lineups, so that kind of helps as well.
Well, in a game that was really looking for someone to get a hot hand, Emmanuel McDuffie hit a lot of shots, finished with 26, and he was our Bob Tyler player of the game for that. So it was a nice night for him. It was a good night. It's always good to see players play well in big games. One of the conversations that he and I had, he's a player who's capable of scoring, but he sometimes becomes a quantity shooter and not a quality shooter. And when he's got his feet under him and he's ready to shoot, he's playing well. Well, you get the win on our first broadcast of the year. Christian's got some hardware for you there. Congratulations, Terrence.
Congratulations, Coach Harris. Congratulations to Pensacola, the Tigers here. I know you're pumped. This is a great way to start not only the season, but the decade. Congrats. It's a big win. And let's hear it for the Tigers who get the hardware.
Congratulations, guys.
That's well done, fellas. Congratulations.
All righty. Congratulations, Coach. Congratulations, fellas. Nice win.
Good
Very
job,
good.
guys. Nice
Pensacola High Fighting Tigers come away with a 68-60 win over the Tate Aggies. Well done.
So polite,
Congratulations.
too. I love it. Nice group of young men. Got the big win, too.
All righty. All right, that is our first game of the season. We'll be back on Friday night with a doubleheader from Pine Forest. Pine Forest and Washington. Girls game starts at 6. Boys game will follow at around 7:30 or so. So we'll have a doubleheader for you our next time out on Friday. Christian, it's a pleasure. I'm looking forward to the year.
Thank you, sir. I can tell you it certainly has been my pleasure to do this with you and all of you guys watching. Thank you so much. High School Hoops, night number 1 of several.
All righty. Once again, thanks for joining us. Thank you to our crew for bringing you the game. And once again, the final score, Pensacola High, 68, the Tate Aggies, 60. Good night, everyone.